I've just been planting and planting and planting for the last 2 days, and I can't tell you what a mood uplifter it really is for me. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Victoria Radford. I'm a makeup artist and a medical esthetician based in Toronto, Canada, and I'm obsessed with plants. Today, we are going to be talking about my #1 pick for a new plant owner, and that is the snake plant. These are so wonderful in so many ways. Quick facts, this snake plant in particular is about 7 years old. You're going to see when I pull her out what she's been doing. I have definitely not properly taken care of her, but I'm so proud. Look at all these, oh, look at this, it's so beautiful. So there's a few facts. Snake plants are one of the only plants, well, they're one of two. My other favorite plant in the whole world is Azizi, and both of them are the easiest to take care of ever. I probably own about 7 snake plants in my house, and I think I have something like 14 ZZs, including midnight ZZs that are like black. I'll show you, I have one in the office up here. This is a ZZ. This is not a midnight one, this is a normal one. But I have a whole bunch of them. So snake plants and ZZ plants require very, very little care. In fact, they almost like to be left to their own. They're like the cat of plants, but not as difficult. And they are 2 of the only plants that give off oxygen 24/7. You might not know this, but most plants during the night actually give off like carbon dioxide. So you're not really supposed to have plants in your bedroom while you're sleeping, unless it's a ZZ or a snake plant. So these plants are the only 2 plants I have in my bedroom, but they're also all over my house because they don't require a lot of light. Like I have ZZs really testing time, like in my stairwell. There's absolutely no natural light whatsoever there. But because my stairs go out to my front door, it's not good feng shui because the chi, like the good energy, can leave too fast. So I have plants all along to kind of slow that down and make that corner better for my house. We'll get into more of that later, but if you have any questions on that, I was like brought up on feng shui practices. My mom always feng shuied my house that we grew up in, so there are a few things that I always do. And so today we are going to be propagating this wonderful snake plant, and you're going to see how it grows. It will actually show signs of needing a little bit of water. Like, you really can test it. I've gone 2 months and completely forgotten about this plant. And then once it actually flowered, which is actually a sign of it dying. So snake plants is really pretty though. Snake plants will flower because if it thinks it's going to die, it will want to give the seeds so that it doesn't completely die, because nature wants to live. And so that was a sign that I was like, ooh, I better take a little more care of her and give her a little more water. But you can more likely overwater than underwater a plant like this. So let's take her out. You can see 7 or 8 years ago when I first got her, she was in this tiny little pot. This is the original plant in this tiny little pot. And then since then, she has grown outside of her pot, basically just breaking through. I'm really so impressed that she was able to grow this much, because basically, she was in a pot that was a little too big, so I just put a bunch of pebbles in the bottom, and essentially she made her root system like work for her, and just busted out of this little pot here, and then busted out the bottom, and then this huge thing grew. So normally I would obviously take the pot off. I don't want to just cut the pot. So I'm gonna make it easier for myself, and I can already see where it's the main growth point is out of the pot, which is right about here. So I'm just gonna use my clean shears, and I'm just gonna cut and propagate from here. So I'm gonna make a cut right here. There we go, that's better. And you can see this is the original plant and another stalk is coming out the top. Let's pull this out. Okay, let's get this dirt off. I originally bought her probably from IKEA. So in general, the soil quality when you buy plants at IKEA is not great. Like I can see a lot of sand in here. There's a lot of like kind of cheap filler. So she hasn't been getting her nutrients that she needs. She's gonna be very happy in her new home. I'm going to be putting the original plant in this cute pink pot because I'm gonna give her away as a gift. And then I'll put the other one back in this guy because I like the shape of it. It's a little bit unique and simple. That looks great. I'm considering taking off this guy and potting that in a smaller pot, and then I'll have a completely new plant. So I like to, and I'm trying to be as gentle as possible, but she's pretty robust. So I like to, you can see here, this is like the main part of this snake plant. And then this new arm is coming off. And then this arm that came off the bottom is quite long. I might take that off too. She's fine. They get nutrients from their ligaments. Okay, so I'm gonna take as much of this guy off because as much root system, but see, like these roots are very unhappy. She's gonna be able to establish way better roots in her new home. That's why I think snake plants are the best. This little nubbin will go in its own pot and grow into a beautiful snake plant eventually. Snake plants are very easygoing when it comes to soil. You definitely want something that drains well because they don't like to be waterlogged. It'd be quite the opposite, in fact. But they still need to get their nutrients. So I really like putting some pebbles or some leca. I'm just reusing the pebbles that were already in here. Leca is a clay ball, so they kind of act the same. So I put that in the bottom. It also saves you money because soil is expensive, but pebbles you can use and they're really inexpensive. You can buy like a huge bag at Home Hardware. I have many bags of it. And then I'm going to do just a layer of soil, but I'm putting the soil further away from the roots, just so some nutrients can get to the plant. And then I'm going to do kind of a chunky bark charcoal orchid mix mixed with perlite and just keep it super chunky. And 1 scoop of flour. That's a little too much. Less than 1 scoop. This is a small container. I'm making a mess and it's so fun. So it's nice and chunky in there. I'll just add a little bit more so she's stable because she's quite heavy. Okay, she seems really happy in her new home and it's nice and chunky through here, but I had to kind of pack in some extra soil on the top just to hold her steady and make her feel supported. I'm very excited. And look, what a beautiful gift. There's something so nice about giving a gift of something you grew yourself. Okay, let's look at these other pieces. These roots look extremely unhappy, and it makes sense because basically this piece just shot out of the bottom and tried to grow itself in pebbles. So I'm going to give it a wonderful, happy home now. And normally I would actually, because these roots are so unhappy and like there's no real soil, so it kind of stuck itself to a lot of like remnants. So I would normally take this outside and hose her down. It's the middle of winter, so I can't do that right now. And I don't want to ruin my drain pipes. So what I'm gonna do is, maybe I'll just get a bowl of water and just kind of like immerse her in, so I can get some of this stuff that's like stuck on there. Like she like glued herself. I know, you were trying to get some nutrients. A little trick you can do if you're worried that there's a little bit of rot, which I'm pretty sure there is, here. It's nothing to be concerned about, but you can use just a touch of peroxide. If you have like full-on root rot, what I do is I actually water my plants with like a little bit of peroxide, at least less than 3 parts. So 3 parts water and then 1 part peroxide. I just eyeball it, like I'll just put this in the bowl, like basically a little splash. What it does is it oxygenates the water. It also does a million different things, like it kills pest larvae. Every once in a while, I just kind of put a little bit and water my plants with it. So now I'm going to put her in her spa bath. There. Those look terrible, but she's going to be so much happier and healthier in no time at all. So I have her in her new container, and I'm going to use a little bit of the orchid bark and then normal soil. I'll have to hold her up because she's very heavy. There, so much happier. And then for this little cute nugget, I normally have like one of these things, and I think I have them downstairs, but you don't always need it, especially if you have a bunch of rocks. So I put a bunch of rocks in this little guy, so cute. I love these little pots. Probably almost halfway, because essentially I'm gonna propagate her, and they like to be as cozy as possible. Okay, then I'm going to use a little bit of the orchid bark mix, and then I'm going to plant her in potting soil. And then I'm gonna put her down into the potting soil. I'll make like a little hole. And I'm gonna kind of get her down as much as possible because she's still just a little nugget. Such a cute little pipsqueak. We did it! So I have my beautiful gift, the original 8-year-old plant. My new baby here that I'll put back in this container, but I need some rocks in the bottom first. And then we have this little pipsqueak. It's gonna grow. I'm gonna put her in the window, and let's do a little bit of quick start for everyone. Because these are snake plants and the roots were in very bad condition beforehand, I'm not going to give them too much water, just a little drink, and then I'm going to wait for them to dry out completely in between, and then I'll give them kind of a bigger drink. So the teeniest amount of quick start, this is for when you repot plants to help them through the shock of being repotted. Plants do not like to be repotted, even though they're going to be so much happier in their new homes. And so 1 tablespoon, like maybe even a little less, in this 1.5 liter bottle of water, and then I keep these underneath the sink. Obviously, I don't have children. You would not want to keep something like this under the sink if there's any danger of somebody drinking this. In my house, there is no danger of that, and all of my plants are in a separate area of the home where I keep these bottles. So let's give them just a little bit of water. I like to evenly distribute it, but just a tiny little sip. That's it. So that much for all 3 plants, just to give the soil a little bit of something. Well, this is really fun. I feel very accomplished and relaxed. This is my meditation for sure. If you have any questions about snake plants or really any other plants, I'm always here for you, and I hope you have a great day. Mwah!